Hello and welcome. I'm in a bathrobe. I just got out of the shower. Don't you wish you joined me? Anyway, let's get to what the video's about. So I finished Cyberpunk Edgerunners about a week ago. And I'm not quite sure how to feel. On one hand, I feel like it was incredibly well written. I thought it was incredibly well crafted. I thought it was super engaging. I thought it was incredibly thought-provoking. Everything from the tone of the story to the characters in the story and the overall atmosphere, all of it combined was just like peak fiction. Like peak fiction. It's incredible. Go watch it. Stop this video. What the fuck are you doing? And then on the other hand, I feel like the story of the show should have just been what the story of the game was. Because the story of the game is
kinda dog shit.
Don't get me wrong, I really love the game. And I'm really jazzed that Cyberpunk Edgerunners has broken crazy records for the game. But I'm not one of those fucking nutjobs that's going to stand here and tell you that Cyberpunk 2077 was good from the very beginning. I don't have that type of brainworm. I probably have this kind. But I certainly don't have the Cyberpunk was good on release kind. Really, if I want to be completely honest, the game only really, like, for lack of a better term, became good with like patch 1.5, and that came out damn near 2 goddamn years after release. It's not a good look. Now I will recommend it to people. Now I'll tell people to go play it and that it's good. And now it only has the occasional like graphic hiccup and not a holy fucking shit is this.
It's a city of dreams, and I'm a big dreamer.
What?
I feel like I need to explain myself when I say that I feel like the show would have been better as the game, and I'm going to do that. I am probably going to be spoiling Cyberpunk Edgerunners and a fair chunk of Cyberpunk 2077. Great. All right, perfect. Let's get on with it. First thing I want to touch on right away is Night City itself. While the city is the same structurally between the show and the game, seeing it in the show just makes the city feel like its own living, breathing thing. Like, just watching the people go about their day-to-day in the show feels like what being in a big city feels like. Like, we've all seen this dude. Some of us might have actually been that dude, but we're not going to talk about that. The game lacks that type of charm. The most exciting thing I've seen in the game, city-wise, is either the Aldecaldo camp or Jig Street. Everything else just feels kind of bland. And it isn't just the city that the show gets right, it's the characters that inhabit the city. The game has great characters, let's not get that twisted. Judy Alvarez is an excellent character.
You don't want to move your asses. Why don't I come down to the precinct and trash it into bits? Now will you come and arrest me, you pussies?
Adam Smasher is literally Satan.
You look like a cut of fuckable meat, are you?
But a lot of the other side characters only have these glimpses of real development or almost none at all. But the show has a cast of characters. Like, just look at the crew that we have in the show. We have Walking Tank Man, Best Girl, this potty mouth monkey arm man, Emo Girl Lyric, Physics Breaking E-Girl, Best Girl, Forge from X-Men, and yeah, this is a muscle mommy. No, seriously, like, I'm not even joking. I wish I had this type of woman that I could hold in my arms at night, or rather could hold me in her very muscular arms, because I'm tired of pushing my meat up against somebody's behind, and it feels like a 2x4. I need some girth. I need some thick. You don't understand the type of man I am. I've been told my entire dating life, oh, you're a furnace, you give off a lot of warmth. I want to be the one that's absorbing heat. I don't want to be the one that has heat taken away from me. I love Dorio. Dorio is a muscle mommy. Skinny Girls is out. I need that thick. But what I really want to talk about are the protagonists, because you look at V. V is not a very good character. Yeah, I know they're meant to sort of be a self-insert of a protagonist. That is not lost on me. It's an RPG. It's kind of hard to have serious development when your character is an RPG character. I get it. They are a not-so-silent protagonist, but one you can still mold with your own sense of morality through in-game choices. The closest thing I can think of to compare it to is like a Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. But even in those in-game choices, they still feel kind of bland. Like they are just a vessel for Johnny Silverhand's cyber ghost and not a character of their own. David feels like a better protagonist because of the circumstances of them becoming the protagonist. He isn't a nomad smuggler. He's not a street kid caught in a bad situation or a corporate fucking stooge. He was just a student in a really good school that his family couldn't afford, who had a really, really incredibly shitty day, and simply gave himself over to what the city had offered him, which was edge running. And it was through that very first sequence of events that sent him down the path that we see him go down. It's almost as if we knew he was setting himself up for a very tragic fate. And as far as secondary protagonists go, I would much rather have had, like, Lucy be along for the overall ride than Johnny Silverhand. Because, yeah, it's really cool to have Keanu Reeves say shit like this.
A ripper named Fingers in a back alley for hookers. Sounds like a Joy Toy's wet dream. You're starting to remind me of me, 50 years back. Minus the charisma. An impressive cock.
But he could never give us moments like this.
あんたと私は違う。
どこが?
Because like I said earlier, the plot in the game was kinda shit. Both stories deal with similar things thematically, sure. The dangers of having hope, fighting against an impossible enemy, and the struggle within oneself, but the overall plots are night and day. David's journey is this grand adventure with a satisfying end for almost everybody involved. Everything felt like, yeah, that's how it was going to end up. It all hit really well. It made sense. And all V's story amounted to was a race against time. I've played the game maybe 7 or 8 times all the way through, and I always dread doing that last few couple of missions because the plot just hits a fucking wall. One thing I will say that is a positive in the show and in the game is its use of music. I'm not even going to talk about the car radio as an example, although the soundtrack selection in the radio stations is impeccable and awesome. They literally got legendary punk band Refused to, like, be Johnny Silverhand's band. That's actually kind of fucking sick. Like, they made original music for it. Like, that's fucking cool. But I'm talking about the use of music in the world itself. The game makes excellent use of its soundtrack, with every nightclub, bar, and combat experience having music that fits the environment beautifully. The show uses a song that is just like... In the game, it's a random song that I never listened to because I only listened to the metal station, because the metal station is really, really good. And made it such an engaging piece of emotional storytelling that whenever I hear it in the game now, I go off a goddamn cliff! I really think that the universe that Mike Pondsmith created is incredibly dystopian, expertly crafted, and filled with this very strange sense of hope. I love the world that is Cyberpunk, and I love that it has these wonderful characters and this well-written lore that is Tolkien-esque in its structure. I hope that this isn't the end of Edgerunners. I hope we get more out of it, and I don't say that lightly. I hope that we see more of Lucy. I hope that we see more of Falco. That's really all I have to say on it. So get back out there into Night City, chooms. You got a literal devil that you gotta work on killing. Good night.